You know, when I look at my turkey display I got in my house, I'm actually working on other walls, just trying to finish my turkey collection. Of course, this ain't near the pictures that I could have, but I've just taken some of my favorite hunts over the years and trying to put them on wall mounts just to make a better display. But I just wanted to share a couple of pictures off this wall, because there's a lot more that I could share that proves what I want to talk about in this video. But I just want to share a couple pics, because you know, when I look at these pictures, I can tell you the date, I can tell you the exact moment that I killed these turkeys. You know, the hunt's still fresh in my mind. But this picture here is actually a turkey that he came through a fence, a barbed wire fence, came through the fence to get to me. This turkey here came across a creek to get to me, actually flew across a little creek to get to me, and came 200 yards across the open field. Once he crossed the creek at the bottom, he come all the way across the field to me. I watched him come about 200 yards all the way across the field, but he flew across a little creek right at the other end of the field, right down below it. And this turkey here came through a fence too. So these three turkeys, both of these were shot pretty much close together, different years, but same property. Came through a fence, and this one came across the creek and over across the field. So I want to just take a moment in this video and discuss more myths and lies that turkey hunters will tell you that a lot of times will cost you turkeys because you get crippled in your mind. You know, a couple of years ago we did a video that was really popular, the myths and lies of turkey hunting. We talked about 3 myths that will cripple your mind if you believe them and cause you not to be successful. Well, this is part 2. 2 years later, we're going to talk about part 2, myths and lies of turkey hunting that will cost you turkeys if you believe it up here. All right, we're going to be talking about more myths of turkey hunting. You know, like I said, 2 years ago we did the first video, myths and lies of turkey hunting, and it was very popular. So I'm going to do a part 2 because I'm going to discuss 3 more myths that will cripple you in your mind when it comes to turkey hunting. So the first myth I want to talk about is what I showed you in them pictures. Now, this is true. Please do not misunderstand me. You've heard me say over the years in different videos that you always want to get on the other side of an obstacle, whether it's a fence line or a slough, a creek, any kind of water. You always want to try to get on the other side of it. That's totally true, and I believe that still today. However, sometimes that's just an impossibility. Maybe it's the property line. You know, fence lines are property lines, but there's nothing against the law about setting up on a fence line and calling that turkey from that side to this side. To this side. It can be done. I've done it many, many times. Is it tough? Yes, it's tough. You've already thrown a more of a challenge in the game that day, and if you can do this, you know, boy, you might as well put an extra feather in your hat because you've done something that's really hard. But maybe the fence line is the property line. Maybe a creek drainage or a creek is the property line. So what do? Do you just quit on the turkey? Let's say that turkey's the only turkey gobbling on this particular day. You're out there, you've been hunting most of the morning, you get this turkey fired up 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and he's just across the creek. But you can't go over there. Or maybe he's across the fence line, but you can't hunt over there. Maybe you can hunt over there, but maybe he's out there in the field and the fence is there, and you can't get on the other side of it because he can see you, you can see him. You know, it's a bad situation. So what do? Well, if you sit there and you get crippled in your mind, oh, well, the hunt's over. He ain't going to come across this creek. He ain't going to come across this slough. He's not going to fly across this little river. He's not going to come across this fence. Might as well just give up and just go on back to the house because I've been told it's not going to work. It's not true. If that's the only turkey that's gobbling that day and he's responding to me and I'm calling, he's responding, nothing else around me, you know, is responding to me, and he's the only one that I can hunt. Okay, I'm going to hunt that turkey. I may not be able to get to him, but I'm going to hunt him, and I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at him, and I'm going to try every way I can to kill this turkey. It can happen, folks, but what you have to do is, again, be strong in your mind, tell yourself you can do it, and throw the kitchen sink at this turkey. You got to get him from there to you. So, fence lines is a hang up. Most of the time they'll hang you up, but it's not impossible. If it's a barbed wire fence, or maybe it's got some holes in the fence, cattle fence, it's not impossible for that turkey to crawl right under that fence or to go right through that barbed wire of the fence. I've watched them do it. That one turkey I showed you where I was holding like this, he actually come through a barbed wire fence, crawl through the strands, come over to me, and I was able to kill him. But he was on the neighbor's property, and I called him off the neighbor's property, and I was probably 30 yards off the fence line. He came through that fence 25 yards in front of me. He come about 5-6 yards on this side of the property, and he was legal, and I killed him. So I called that turkey through something that other people said you can't do. It's a myth. You can't do it. It's not going to happen. No, you can happen, but you've got to just get this turkey fired up enough where he'll come to you. Now, what I do is I will usually get really aggressive. And if he's still gobbling at me, I'm gonna probably just do everything I can to get him so fired up that he can't stand it anymore. If they're on the other side of a slough or a creek and I can't go across the creek because of the water or maybe the property line, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get fired up. I'm going to cut. I'm going to yelp. I'm just going to throw everything I can. Because what are you going to mess up? You can't hunt over there. You can't hunt. You can't cross it. You're not going to screw nothing up. So you might as well just go for the goal. But a lot of times that is the very thing that you have to do in order to get these turkeys across a barrier. So it's just a myth that says they won't cross the creek and they won't fly across the slough or they won't cross through a fence. It'll happen. Get out there, yelp, cut, get him fired up, and just be talking to him. Let him gobble 2 or 3 times, then you cut to him. Let him gobble 2 or 3 times, and just have a conversation with him. And I'm telling you right now, many times I've seen them take wings and fly across a slough, or fly across a creek, walk across a creek, or come through a fence. It'll happen. It's just a myth. Hunt them turkeys, and a lot of times that'll be the very turkey you take home with you, and that'll be an extra feather in your cap. See this turkey right here, this cape right here? This turkey I killed a few years ago here in Missouri, and he's a big 23-pound turkey, beautiful turkey. He destroyed the next myth that I want to talk about. This turkey right here destroyed the next myth, and the guys will tell you this. He's hanging on this wall today because I didn't believe in this myth. And that is, after you spook a turkey, should you just call it quits, the hunt's over, he's not going to come back for a couple of days? Not at all. You can kill spooked turkeys, even if they seen you. This turkey here saw me, he saw me before I saw him. I actually moved this way. He took out of there. I watched him run. He's about 50 yards, and I just didn't see him. And I was trying to get situated around here because the last time he gobbled was here. But anyway, I moved and he putted and he took off. Now he didn't fly, he just ran, but he went through there pretty quick. He saw me. Now a lot of guys would say, "Oh man, the hunt's over. I spooked that turkey. There ain't no hope. Might as well just give it up," and they'll start kicking themselves. Well, here's the thing. That's not true. A turkey, if you let him calm down just a little bit, and when I say calm down, it don't have to be a whole lot of time. I think probably I sat there for 20 minutes and never said a word after this turkey took off. But what I did is I just got up, I went the long way around, and I just tried to get where I thought the turkey had moved to and probably ran down, because they're not going to run very far. Even if they fly, they're not going to fly to the next county. So does it make it harder to call them in? Sure, it makes them harder. They're probably not going to gobble as much. They're probably not going to get fired up. But if you will be patient and know your property and know how the turkeys kind of travel, you will kill turkeys that you spooked. So what I did on this turkey was I just pretty much got in front of where I thought he was going to go, and I just sat there and I started soft calling. I switched calls. I didn't try to sound like the same turkey that I was up on the hill when he heard all that calling. Switched calls, and I just started calling really soft. I started just clucking. Never yelped to him. Just clucked and purred and just kind of sound like a hen that was down there feeding around. What happened? This turkey gobbled one time, but I knew about 30 minutes after I spooked him and got reset up, he gobbled one time, and that was it. But I knew it was the same turkey because of the location he was. He'd moved on down the hill just a little bit, and sure enough, it took him about 45 minutes, and he come right out in that little open flat, and I seen him out there, and I got to work him all the way in. He came strutting, never gobbled, but he came strutting, and you right on in, and I shot him about 20 yards. So he saw me, but I yet killed him. Now, here's why a lot of people get crippled in their head that a turkey's unkillable. They see danger and they take off. Well, listen, did you ever stop to think that you're not the only predator out there? You're not the only thing hunting these turkeys just in the spring or in the fall. Every single day they have predators, whether it's coyotes or bobcats or whatever the case, neighbors' dogs. They see people hunting mushrooms. They see people out hiking. Every single day, things spook turkeys. But they don't go to the next county. If that's the case, we never have turkeys to hunt on the property year after year after year. So we have to understand that turkeys get spooked all the time. Doesn't mean the hunt's over. It makes the hunt tougher. I'm not saying that, but it is a myth that you cannot kill a turkey once that turkey has been spooked. Maybe you're hunting a property where there isn't a lot of turkeys. Maybe you're hunting just a small piece of property where maybe you don't get the opportunity to go places and hunt a lot of different places. So that's pretty much your sanctuary. Well, listen, if you spook a turkey, don't give up, because there could be another turkey right around there somewhere else also. But that same turkey could very well come right back in on you if you'll just switch your call a little bit, switch your sound a little bit, and call really soft, sound like another hen that's just moved into the area, feeding around, because his desire to breed is still there. His desire to still breed a hen did not go away just because he was spooked. So stay out after them turkeys that you spook, and a lot of times you can put his cape on the wall, because I promise you this, if I would have just give up, this turkey wouldn't be here. But because I stayed after it, a few minutes later, I was able to have him flopping about 25 yards in front of me. So it's not impossible to kill a spooked turkey. You'd be surprised how many people year after year write in and ask me, why didn't you have a face mask on? Why don't you wear gloves? Now, I do wear gloves and face mask. I do. In fact, I've got some laying around the house. This is not the one I turkey hunt with. I like a half mask, but this is the one that I like to carry when it gets cold and deer hunting. So since deer season has just not been closed for, too long, I had this one laying over here. But this kind of goes over your head and comes down around your neck, so it's really warm. But yeah, I got a face mask. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to get crippled in my mind thinking I've got to have a face mask on to kill a turkey. I have killed more turkeys without a face mask than I have with a face mask. Now, saying that, the reason why a lot of times you see me without a face mask is because I've accidentally just left it in the vehicle. Now, usually when I come in from a turkey hunting, I come back to the vehicle for the day, I pull the mask off around my neck, and I'll usually just throw it in the seat or throw it in the back seat or whatever. And so it kind of lays there until the next morning. The next morning I get, if I'm in a hurry, I grab my stuff, and a lot of times I just take off, go turkey hunting, and when I get up top of the hill or I get sitting there, daylight's breaking, I'll reach down and go, oh man, I forgot my mask, or I forgot my gloves. What am I going to do? Well, if you're crippled in your mind thinking that you got to have a face mask, a lot of times you're mentally going to be shot from the start. Oh, I can't kill a turkey if I ain't got a face mask. And a lot of times you may run back to the vehicle just so you can feel that security blanket. Remember Charlie Brown? It's like Linus's security blanket. You got to have a face mask, got to have gloves. They're going to see me. But listen, did you ever stop and think about something? How you kill turkeys is you just sit rock solid still. That's it. Okay? If you'll notice, a lot of times when I don't have a face mask on in videos, my cap comes all the way down to right toward my eyebrows, to where I can just see out from the bill of my cap. I got my gun up, and and if you'll just sit still just like this, now you tell me something. A turkey is not going to see that very much if you sit still. So this is how you do it. If you forget your face mask, just pull your cap down and let your cap be your face mask. I have killed so many turkeys over the years, probably a lot more doing this than I have with a face mask. Now, I'm not against a face mask. I'm just saying a lot of times people get crippled up in their minds and say, well, I can't kill one unless I got this and this. A lot of people will refer back to my Oklahoma hunt from a couple years ago, and they'll see me, work this turkey in, and on the channel here. And that first turkey came in, and he kind of went off the other way. I didn't have a face mask. A lot of people will write and say, "Oh, the reason you didn't kill that turkey is because you didn't have a face mask." No, it wasn't. It was because a bigger turkey was behind him, back over the hill, and I wound up killing him 30 minutes later without a face mask. So. He was a subordinate turkey. He didn't want to come all the way into them hens because he thought that he knowed that big gobbler would probably put a whooping on him, and he just kind of shot off. It was just a subordinate turkey. That's all it was. That turkey, if you could have seen in the video what the turkey saw, you saw from the side, so you saw my face, but from the turkey's view, you saw he saw this right here, okay, and I was rock solid. So you don't have to have a mask and gloves to kill a turkey. And the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of times people will get so mentally crippled to where they think, they got to rush back to the vehicle, or they got to go back and get this stuff. Or they can't hunt without it. Listen, people years ago, before mask and camouflage and anything ever come on the market, they were killing turkeys. I mean, killing turkeys every year. In fact, I guarantee you, I could take a brown coat, a pair of blue jeans, and go out this spring, no camo, no nothing, and kill a turkey. If I had the right setup and the right situation, set still, I could do it. Now, I believe in camo. You know my choice, mossy oak. I think mossy oak bottomlands is the best turkey pattern on the market. I always believe that. I've hunted with it for years, and I totally believe in camo. The reason I believe in camo is I use camo for the situations that's not perfect. Maybe like, I'm set up against a fence post out in the wide open, and there's not a lot of trees around, and I just got to set up, against a little twig or something. So I do believe camo helps, but you don't want to get crippled in your mind thinking you got to have this to kill a turkey, because it can be proved over and over and over that you can kill turkeys without. All you got to have is calling, good woodsmanship, set rock solid steel, don't move, and you will kill turkeys, I promise. Make sure to subscribe to this video. We're going to have a lot more content in the weeks to come. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also join my Facebook page. Just click in the link in the description. Come over and like and follow my Facebook page and stay with me all year long. Also check out DaleOutdoors.com, SOSOOutdoors.com, SpringFeverCustomCalls.com, where you can pick up my Old Slide box call and my Signature Series box call and my Signature Series brand new Matt Dale 2.5 Old Slide mouth call Signature Series. Also pick up you a Dale Outdoor shirt and support the channel here. Show your support for the channel. I really appreciate it. All this can be found at SpringFeverCustomCalls.com. I really appreciate all your support. Stay with me. We got a bunch of turkey hunting talk to discuss this coming year, and I hope it makes you a better turkey hunter.